What is up, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. It's been a hot minute since I uploaded. It's been about 2 weeks, I think. I had a sore throat last week, so there was no video. Sorry. I do not record in advance, so when shit happens, I'm basically gone. So today I'm back with a video titled "So You Want to Work in Japan?" And I have my laptop here full of notes because we are gonna go through this in detail to make sure you guys get the best job while you are an international student. So Japan, and especially Tokyo, is very expensive. Relative to back home in Indonesia, everything's super cheap compared to Japan, and rent, utility bills, health insurance payments, they all add up, and before you realize $1,000 are gone in a month. If you add that with going out with friends, weekly, let's say, that's gonna take up even more of your budget. So what can we do as international students here in Japan? In today's video, I'm gonna cover everything there is to know about arubaito, which means a part-time job, basically. So again, I'm gonna mention at the beginning of this video, this video is mainly aimed for international students working in Japan. So I won't be covering working holidays or just a work visa, just purely anyone who came to Japan on a international student visa. So with said visa, there are actually limits to how much you can work and where you can work. So the limit is 28 hours a week and 8 hours in a day. So you can't go over that or you'll get kicked out of Japan. And we are not allowed to work in cabaret clubs or those night jobs. It becomes something illegal. And if you do that, you'll get kicked out of Japan. So the first kind of arubaito or short baito that I would like to tell you guys about is the entry-level baito, the easy shit that you get. Anyone gets accepted unless you've been to jail or some weird shit like that. But these kind of baitos basically include konbinis or convenience stores, factories, and sushi chains or family restaurants. The pay isn't exactly very high. It's around hovers around 1,000 yen to 1,200 if you work late at night. And the hours could be long, could be short. It's a shift form, so you can decide how much you want to work. There is very minimal speaking to customers. You don't really deviate from the set dialogue that you're given, irashaimase or arigatou gozaimasu, or basically very easy entry-level Japanese. I really recommend starting off with these type of baitos because they are very introductory. They help build the foundation of familiarizing yourself with the way the Japanese workforce operates, I guess. And it doesn't take a lot of Japanese skill, again, to do these type of part-time jobs. The first ever baito I had was in Family Mart, and I started working there after just 3 months of starting my Japanese learning journey, and it was really fun. I think it really depends also on the people that you work with, but I had really fun coworkers, and they kind of taught me how to speak Japanese, and it really helped improve, I think, my speaking level at least. Okay, the next type of baito that I want to tell you guys about is the mid-level. That's the next tier, just baito tier list. But the next level is say you've been working in the first level, in a convenience store for a few months, or you've been living in Japan for 6 months to about a year, and you kind of have a good grasp of casual Japanese. And at this point, more linguistically advanced baitos, I can't even speak English, more linguistically challenging baitos become available, such as being an English teacher, which is very popular, and working at an izakaya or a kind of bar kind of restaurant. Like they serve alcohol, and also karaoke establishments. Like these type of jobs require more fluent Japanese skills, but with the harder workload, you kind of get more money. So the hourly wage kind of hovers around 1,100 yen up to 1,300, like if you work late at night or like it's a more high-end place. The reason these places are a bit harder for like entry-level Japanese speakers is because you don't always stick to the same dialogue. Like some people would ask you questions, like the customers would be like asking about your day, or like maybe they have questions relating to the food or something, and you have to be able to like answer those questions by yourself. So it's I think you have to get a good grasp of daily conversational Japanese at least to be able to work here. So the next level is the pro level. So the pro level is where it gets a bit harder. Like electronic stores, supermarkets, and like I think you need more qualifications to get into these places. You would need extensive Japanese where you would be required to do customer service, such as like I work in an electronics store and I have to be able to explain to the customers like what kind of, for example, what kind of iPad this is, or if it's suitable for their needs. Like I've been living in Japan for 2 years and I had a hard time starting out. It was pretty challenging, I think, but very, very fun, very rewarding kind of part-time job. And at this point, like more difficult Japanese words come into play, and it really helps to be able to speak fluently at least. Of course, if you are confident in your skills, you can kind of learn on the job. Like your Japanese might get better while working, which happens in a lot of cases, but there are also, on the other hand, a lot of cases where people get accepted into these jobs, but they give up and quit after like a few months because they just can't handle the stress of not being able to like communicate fluently and like help the customers, and they just get like yelled at by the boss. I've seen a lot of like foreign coworkers who kind of like give up and just like quit, and like it's kind of stressful. So like I can't recommend doing it unless you are very hardworking, I guess. Honestly, the pay doesn't really differ from the mid-tier baitos that I mentioned before. It's like still hovers around 1,000 yen to 1,300 depending on the place. But I think like the experiences that you get in these like the pro level baitos are a lot better than you get in the mid-tier, because you get to interact with the customers a lot more, and I think it's a better way to improve your Japanese quicker. Okay, so the last tier that I would like to introduce to you guys is the God tier. Basically, Apple Store. The Apple Store is the god of international student arubaito in Japan. And brand stores like Louis Vuitton or like Chanel, and luxury cosmetics. This is the most elusive part-time jobs that are available for international students. Like, again, I'm gonna say it again, but Apple Store, the god tier. They have so many benefits and the pay is insane. So for an hour of work, you get around 1,600, I think is the starting level, and it goes up to 1,750, I think, and it's very hard to get into these jobs. So the starting qualifications you need to even apply to these jobs are very high. It helps a lot if you speak another language besides Japanese, such as, well, English. It helps a lot if you can speak Chinese. And if you speak any other language, it just adds to a plus for your application, I guess. If you can speak Japanese well and speak native English, I really encourage you to check out these kind of baitos, because they are very rewarding. Now, after talking about the different types of arubaito in Japan, you might be wondering, if you do not already live in Japan and plan to move here soon, you might be wondering, how do I apply? How do I find these jobs? Here in Japan, there are plenty of job hunting websites. I'll put some in the description below, the ones I used to get the baitos that I've worked in until now. Some of the examples are Townwork, Baitoru, You just choose a website, go to the website, search for your area, and search what kind of baito you want to do, like cafe, electronics, clothing, fragrance, etc. And there will be a baito for you. Also, do keep in mind that the closer you are to central Tokyo area, the more likely you would get paid a higher wage. Like, if you have a part-time job in Shinjuku versus like somewhere outside Tokyo in like Setagaya or something, the pay would be very different. Like, I think the standard for central Tokyo is about 1,000 yen, and anywhere outside Tokyo is about 8 to 900 yen an hour. Another way to look for any available baitos in your area is to just go out, walk around the stores, and look for this word, 募集中. This word means that they are looking for job applicants, and they will usually have a phone number. They would have it on a flyer, and they would have like 募集中 and like the hours and the wage, and they would have a phone number in the end which you could call and like, hello, I want to apply for a job. But in the end, however way you choose to apply, in Japan there is a standard what should I call it? Application form called a direksho, which is where you write your school history, your address, your name, your work history, and also have a picture and stick a picture of yourself on the paper. Also, another important tip that I would like to share with you guys is to make sure you know what store you are applying to. Don't just apply to any random store which has like a expensive wage or like a good shift times, but you should make sure you could like vibe with the people. Once I applied to like an izakaya randomly and I did not vibe, fam. It was not a good vibe. Make sure that is the kind of environment you would want to work in, otherwise it would be living hell. So that marks the end of this video. I hope this video was educational and maybe you got some good tips from it. I don't know. If you guys like this video, please click the like button, slap it. Click the subscribe button if you want to see more content like this, more content about me being an international student living here in Japan. Thank you. Bye. See you guys next week, hopefully.